When girls are rejecting you and it's becoming a little bit overwhelming for you, the amount of rejection, and you start to feel like game might not be for you and that you probably should quit. What should you do? But before we kick it off, I'm Dave and this channel is dedicated to giving you no BS, novel dating advice from the modern man. There's my book. Top link in the description to get some coaching with me, my Telegram group, free coaching call upon arrival, and the Facebook group has all the infield breakdowns already uploaded, ready to go. So, you've been getting a lot of rejection. You've been getting smashed out there. And it's becoming a little bit overwhelming. You've got to the point where you're thinking, I might go MGTOW and give up. I might go full red pill and just spend all my days in the gym. What should you do? There is a huge problem when you're out there and you're making a lot of approaches. The link between effort and reward, it just doesn't seem to be there. You're putting in all of this effort and there's literally no reward coming back from that. And that becomes overwhelming, and then you just think, why am I even doing this? And then you start looking at girls around the street and you just think, well, I know she's going to reject me. Why should I bother even approaching her? What should you do? What should you do? Well, you see, this is the difference between all the different communities. And in my personal opinion, what you should be doing is, you've got this large chunk of time that's spent on approaching. What you do is you take a little bit of that approaching time, divert it over here to increasing your mate value. That's step one. But you continue the vast majority of your approaching. Divert a little bit, maybe 25% of the time that you'll be spending approaching girls. Go spend it in the gym. Go spend it learning a new skill. Maybe even some of those red pill guys or the MGTOW guys or whatever. What they do all of their time, you could probably do a little bit of. You know, learn a musical instrument. Say, for instance, if you learn guitar, maybe you learn a language of the type of girl that you're interested in. I know a lot of daygamers out there like Colombian and South American girls. Maybe you can learn Spanish. You know, maybe you can learn a language that they speak. Obviously, guitar's a good one. Obviously, spending time in the gym if you're a little bit overweight or whatever. You can spend, instead of spamming the hell out of the streets and getting so much rejection, hitting the nightclubs and getting totally annihilated, divert maybe one day less in the nightclub, one day less approaching, and then go get some teeth whitening, go see the dentist. I did that recently. Dye your hair. Make sure you got a nice haircut. Do some skincare or something. And that extra little bit of increase in your mate value will help the 75% of your approaches go that little bit better. And you might have a few wins over time. Okay, so this is how you do it. The second part I would recommend is that of the approaches that you're doing, you need to innovate. You really do need to innovate. You need to change up what you're doing, and you need a large enough sample size of that specific method. So that means you go out there and you look at coaches and what they're teaching. You look at coaches like me, and there's hundreds of other coaches out there. There's some weird and wonderful coaches. There's some random coaches. Take something from each of them. Go out there and practice it out in the field. Get a large sample size of that particular method. See if it works for you. Then pick another one, large sample size. See if it works for you. Go around. Figure out what works for you, what doesn't work, and then trial it out. Get a large sample size, see which one works a little bit better. This takes time, and so what you do, you're in the long game. I see game not only, I do see it as a sport. I say it's a sport because it's something that you can learn. It is a skill, but I also see game as I see it as like a lifestyle. So it's they're kind of the same. And so don't think about it like I've just been annihilated for the last month. I've become an involuntary celibate. See it, okay, well, I need to divert a little bit more time to my mate value, and of the game that I'm doing, I need to innovate. Large sample size, break it down, change up what you're doing. You really need to do that. Or you're going to be stuck in a rut forever, and eventually you're going to go MGTOW. Nobody wants to go MGTOW. Come on, even the MGTOW guys are miserable. You don't want to go there. You want to take action, you want to improve your life. The ultimate goal at the end of it, and I just got off a phone call, and this was a great little nugget of information. He was talking about how some unemployed people will go for jobs. And it's similar to game. You're applying for jobs, and people wonder, why is this unemployed person not motivated anymore? Well, they're an unemployed MGTOW. So they've applied for so many jobs and they've been rejected, they've got to the point where they're not applying anymore. That's the same as approaching. They've kind of quit, right? And you don't want to become an unemployed MGTOW person that's not really going out there and applying for jobs. You want to continue applying for jobs, okay? And that when the link between effort and reward is no longer there, and you cannot see it, you cannot see when your next date, your next number even, or definitely your next lay, you think that that's not even going to come. When you can't see that, that's when you start to lose a little bit of hope. So instead of losing hope, what you need to do is focus on what can you do today. Take a little bit of time to make value, okay? Innovate on what you're doing. Don't lose hope. Continue to go out there, try different things. The third aspect is, this is going to sound like I'm selling it to you, but speaking to someone about it, specifically a coach. It sounds like I'm selling, but I'm not. It does help. Even just paid coaching calls. I offer that as well myself. You paid coaching calls. We have a talk about what you're going through, and we break it down. And someone like me, I'm able to analyze it on a depth that most people can't. So therefore I can help you out. That's another aspect to it. When you look at it from this point of view, there's still a lot of things that you can do, and you continue to innovate and change it up. Eventually those results will come, no matter who you are. Don't get bitter, don't go blaming other people. You really need to take responsibility for yourself in this situation. Don't go blaming women and becoming a MGTOW. Don't blame other men and become a red pill and pretend that you're alpha and all this other weird stuff. And don't be one of those incel black pill guys that just blame all the coaches and say they're all con artists. That's my job. I'm supposed to be calling them out for marketing purposes. But I think that is a good way for you to start. If you're getting a lot of rejection and you feel a little bit hopeless, use these small little tips. And hopefully that's been helpful for you guys. Again, the Telegram group, you get a free coaching call on arrival. Facebook group has all the infield breakdowns. They're very valuable, by the way. Infield breakdowns, you can go through them and find out what you would like to try. And you can see from my analysis what I think works and what doesn't work. And on top of that, you need to be innovating, and you need to have a thing called grit and inner game. Yesterday's video, sorry, not yesterday's book. I have 10 books in there that I recommend that you guys read. They're on the inner game. So today's video and yesterday's video are both connected. And I'll see you guys in the next video.